ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ, ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
ਸੋ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਡੀਕਲਟਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਕੈਲੀ ਤੋਂ। So Kelly, what are the things necessary for spiritual decluttering? Because before the break, like we talked about that clutter, what we have in our life today, but we can also declutter.
Yes.
Like we talk in computer terms, garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you are putting in your life is going to come out.
That's right.
But also we have a shredder also in which we put and we can shred the things off. So how in life, how can we do that spiritual decluttering and what is required for that?
Well, I think to begin with honesty, you know, that we take an honest account, as I mentioned before, of our lives, where it is right now, and to have a vision for ourselves, to know that this harmony, this contentment that we all yearn for, that's a possibility for us in this life based on the choices that we make. We have the power to create that in our lives based on our choices.
Right.
So it's beginning with an honest account, you know, having some humility to say, I am human.
Right.
And I'm struggling with this. I see many people are struggling with this. You know, this life is not about perfection. It's a journey of, you know, improving and, you know, becoming the best we can be in that regard.
But many times, even if a person wants to embark on this journey, the peer pressure, what the people are going to say is a major stumbling block. What do you feel and how to overcome that?
You have to be courageous.
Right.
You know, we need people who are willing to lead, you know, who are willing to stand up and say, you know what, guys, I'm not going to do that. Or, you know, or call your friend out on something, you know, from small things like gossip, Harpreet. You know, gossip can be very damaging in our relationships. So from you know, it's about having the courage to take a stand for what we know is right and wrong, and to care enough about our own spiritual lives. Again, it's that responsibility that we have for ourselves.
Right.
You know, to be determined to say, yes, I'm going to put this front and center and make this the guiding principle of my life. I mean, I have done that. You know, from a young woman, I wasn't raised with any kind of faith, or, you know, there wasn't talk of God in our family. But through my journey, I came to want to have God in my life.
Right.
And so from that time, before that, no. But from that time, when I made a decision to say, this is an important thing for me. This is going to be a guiding aspect of my life. I want to live a spiritual life.
Right.
And learn what that means. Learn.
So it started from your decision, but also your association with the kind of people you're having also has a lot of impact.
Absolutely. And I had to, you know, I think we all need to decide, again, it goes back to boundaries, who we're letting close in, who we're keeping at a distance. We can love everyone, but that doesn't mean we have to be close friends with them. You know, we can have compassion for everyone, but that doesn't mean, you know, that person is necessarily a good influence for me. And so I'm going to protect myself by saying, no, I'm not going with you tonight, you know, because we know that you know, it's not going to be a good influence on us.
Influence might be bad, So like what we have talked so far, we talked about addictions quite a lot, and then addictions are a major reason for all these disasters. You start with small, but then you start getting addicted, whether it be sex addiction or alcohol addiction or drug addiction. So over here now, if you have got engulfed into this kind of life, can you declutter this also, and how to do that?
Yeah, it's a very challenging thing because it almost seems to take hold of us, you know, where we feel we don't have any control over it. It has control over us. That's when you know you have an addiction, is when you're smoking or you're drinking. You try to quit, and you can't. You know, it just seems to have power over. So it's not an easy thing to tackle. But yes, I mean, many people have overcome their addictions and live a life of freedom from whenever that was. So I think it's helpful to understand that addiction is very often our attempt to dull emotional pain that we're feeling. So again, it's a cycle, because if we're out of alignment, we're feeling shame and guilt. We don't want to feel that, so we do something so we're not feeling it. Right. Whether it's drinking or having sex or doing whatever it is, all these shopping, being too much focused on work, anything that takes our mind and our emotions off of what we're actually feeling. Right. So again, it comes back to that courage to say, I'm going to feel pain. Okay. When we start to heal our addictions, it's going to be uncomfortable for a while. It is. Oh, yeah. I've experienced healing addiction. Right. I hear from people that are, say, addicted to drugs, how painful the process is to get clean. Right. There's a physical, process that they go through that's excruciatingly painful in some cases. So we need to say, this is not going to be easy, but the outcome is worthwhile, because when I get to the other side of this, I'm going to have a level of inner freedom, peace of mind, contentment, and that inner integrity that really is our soul's yearning. Right. That's what we long for. I think when we all stop and think, say, what do you want? You say, I want peace of mind. Right. I want peace of heart. Right. Absolutely. So in addressing our addictions and facing them and getting help, again, I don't think we do it in isolation. Absolutely. But there's a lot of help, thankfully, in our culture. Lots of resources are now available by which you can take advantage of this, but that determination has to be there, and that initiative has to be taken by none other than you yourself. Great. Towards the end, if you can take us back and give us, our viewers, some exercise which you feel in during this week, if they can do that, so that they get strength in this what we have talked, and it's not just lip service, some practical advice also. Right. Well, one thing I thought viewers could do, Harpreet, is to bring to mind this concept of virtue. So I mentioned very early on at the very first session that we did about the Virtues Project. So the Virtues Project brings to us tools to help us bring to mind and live from this place. Right. So on my website, as well as the Virtues Project website, there's a list of 100 virtues. So I invite your viewers to get that list. Okay. Put it on their fridge or in their bathroom, maybe not their bathroom, but somewhere at they can see it. Somewhere they can visible, see it visible. It reminds us of the best in ourselves. Right. And then to begin to notice the people in their lives from that point of view. Right. So again, it's spiritualizing our relationships. It's looking at each other as spiritual people first, not material. So when I look at you, I'm not looking at you as, all the things that you represent, but the inner, the essence of who you are. And to begin to look at each other that way. Because I think this is part of where the healing starts. Right. Is to move away from our material view of people and start to see each other for who we really are. Wonderful. So, Harpreet, I see in you a zeal and a determination to bring very important subjects to your audience. Right. And so that's an example, of noticing. Great. It's a pleasure having you. As always, you come here and share pearls of wisdom with us. Thank you very much and best wishes. Thank you, Harpreet.
Thank you. ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੀ ਡੀਕਲਟਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਓਨੈਸਟੀ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਡਿਟਰਮਿੰਡ ਹੋਈਏ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣ ਲਈਏ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਇਹ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਚੇਂਜ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਕਲਟਰਿੰਗ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈ ਪਈ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਕੂੜ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਏਗੀ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਸੋਚ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ। ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ 604 603 7555 ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਈਮੇਲ ਰਾਹੀਂ harpreet@akaltv.com। किसी वजह नाल तुसी ये प्रोग्राम्स नहीं देख सके, खास तौर पर I would request you that please make your children watch these programs, and if by any chance they have not watched this program, please go over to youtube.com/harpreet singh show। ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖ ਸਕੋ, ਸਮਝ ਸਕੋ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਸਕੋ। ਲੈਣਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਗੁੱਡ ਬਾਏ।